If you have ever felt your stomach drop while watching your footage turn into a grainy, muddy mess the second the sun goes down, or if you are tired of action cameras that promise cinematic magic but deliver over-sharpened digital mush, then everything you thought you knew about rugged video is about to change. Right now, behind locked doors and inside secretive engineering labs, DJI is putting the finishing touches on a device that is not just meant to challenge the reigning kings of adventure gear, it is built to completely obliterate them. We are talking about the brand new, highly anticipated DJI Osmo Action 7, and if the early prototype leaks, supply chain whispers, and insider engineering specs are even halfway true, GoPro and Insta360 are officially in massive trouble. This is not just another iterative update with a slightly different badge and a hiked-up price tag. This is a monumental shift in what a pocket-sized, abuse-taking powerhouse can actually achieve, and if you blink, you are going to miss the biggest technological leap the action camera industry has seen in years. To understand why everyone from extreme sports athletes to professional cinematic creators is holding their breath for this release, we have to look at what DJI has quietly accomplished over the past few generations. The Action series has systematically chipped away at the competition, stealing crown after crown with better low-light performance, insane battery life and freezing temperatures, and magnetic mounting systems that make traditional thumbscrews look like medieval torture devices. But the Action 7 is shaping up to be an entirely different beast altogether. Industry insiders tracking the supply chain have flagged prototype field tests leaking out of development hubs, revealing a camera designed specifically to solve the holy grail of action videography: true, uncompromised low-light fidelity combined with massive resolution leaps that rival full-frame mirrorless rigs. Think about that for a second. We are looking at a device small enough to mount to the handlebars of a dirt bike flying down a rocky mountain trail at 50 miles per hour, yet capable of capturing footage so clean, so dynamically rich, and so sharp that you could slice it right into a Hollywood documentary without anyone batting an eye. Let us talk about the elephant in the room, the sensor and image processing pipeline. For years, action cameras have been limited by tiny sensors that choke the moment you step indoors or shoot under a dense forest canopy. The whispers coming out of DJI's R&D department suggest they are pushing the boundaries even further than the massive sensor architecture seen in the Action 6, refining a lightning-fast readout engine that practically eliminates the dreaded rolling shutter effect. Imagine panning across a fast-moving landscape or tracking a skateboarder launching off a halfpipe and seeing absolute vertical straightness, zero wobble, and zero digital artifacting. Coupled with a rumored expansion in dynamic range targeting up to 15 stops of exposure latitude, the Action 7 is engineered to handle brutal high-contrast scenarios like staring directly into a blinding sunset while keeping shadow details in the foreground rich, textured, and entirely free of noise. No more blown-out skies. No more crushed, muddy blacks. Just pure, organic, cinematic exposure right out of the tiny glass lens. And then there is the resolution game. While social media platforms and content creators are still heavily feasting on pristine 4K footage, the industry is marching relentlessly toward the horizon of ultra-high-definition future-proofing. Rumors pointing toward specialized high frame-rate capabilities have sent shockwaves through the creator community, with whispers of optimized high-speed data pathways capable of pushing boundaries up to blistering 8K resolutions or hyper-fluid slow-motion modes that make every droplet of water, every exploding speck of dirt, and every muscle contraction look like a high-budget commercial. But resolution is completely useless if your stabilization looks like an earthquake. DJI's RockSteady technology has long been the gold standard, but the engineering team is reportedly rolling out an advanced next-generation iteration backed by dedicated AI subject tracking algorithms. Imagine mounting this camera to a helmet, bombing down a jagged downhill course, and having the footage look as smooth as if it were floating on a multi-$1,000 motorized gimbal gliding on a glass track. Horizon leveling has also received a massive overhaul, ensuring that even if you barrel roll, flip, or violently tumble, the horizon stays rigidly locked to reality, saving you hours of painful stabilization cropping in post-production. Battery anxiety has always been the dark cloud hanging over action camera users. There is nothing worse than setting up the ultimate shot, hitting record, and watching your percentage plummet from 100 to 0 in 20 minutes because the processor is working overtime. DJI understands this pain point intimately, and the power management architecture inside the upcoming Action 7 has reportedly been rebuilt from the silicon up. Enhanced thermal dissipation means the camera can run longer sustained clips at maximum settings without triggering thermal shutdown warnings, a notorious plague that has historically ruined countless long-form motorcycle vlogs and endurance sports sessions. Paired with endurance batteries engineered to resist freezing cold winter environments where traditional lithium-ion cells usually die in minutes, this camera is built for absolute survival. Whether you are scaling a snowy alpine peak in sub-zero temperatures or filming a scorching desert rally under a relentless baking sun, the Action 7 is built to keep spinning long after your own endurance has given out. Let us address the physical design and build quality, because an action camera is only as good as its ability to survive your worst mistakes. The body is rumored to feature a tougher, more resilient chassis layout with reinforced impact zones and an even more robust waterproof sealing system, allowing creators to dive deeper without needing an external housing. The dual touchscreen setup is expected to return, brighter and more responsive than ever, featuring anti-reflective hydrophobic coatings that shed water droplets instantly the second you emerge from the surf. Think about what that means for creators who shoot in dynamic environments: kayakers, surfers, skydivers, and motovloggers. You do not have to stop, wipe down your lens, or fumble with menu settings with wet fingers. The camera anticipates your workflow, reacting with lightning-fast touch response and intuitive voice controls that actually work even when wind screaming past your face makes communication nearly impossible. When you look at the broader competitive landscape, the timing of this release could not be more critical. Competitors like GoPro and Insta360 are aggressively pushing their own flagship ecosystems, trying to capture the hearts and wallets of creators worldwide. But DJI has a history of undercutting the market while over-delivering on raw hardware value. Expected pricing models point toward a standard combo sitting comfortably in that sweet spot between $349 to $429, with comprehensive adventure bundles stretching higher for those who want extra batteries, extension rods, and specialized mounts right out of the box. Considering the sheer amount of tech packed into this tiny rectangular frame, that pricing strategy threatens to completely disrupt the market and force every other manufacturer back to their drawing boards.